Okay, so now on to Section 5. We're talking about penalties. If you break certain laws or if repeated violations of laws of Virginia, your driving privilege may be suspended or revoked by the court or the DMV. If your license is suspended, your privilege to drive has been withdrawn temporarily. If you pay the required fees and reinstate your license at the end of a suspension period. Also, you will be required to show proof of legal presence, which means either you're a U.S. citizen or legally authorized by the federal government to be in the United States. During the suspension period, if your license has been expired for 1 year or more, you must show proof of legal presence and pass 2-part knowledge, road skills, vision exams in order for your driver privilege to be reinstated. Revocation means that your privilege to drive has been terminated. Your driving privilege may be restored if you reapply for a driver's license and show proof of legal presence after the revocation period has passed. You must successfully complete a vision screening, a 2-part exam and road skills test, and pay the required fees to reapply. Conviction-related suspensions and revocations. The court or DMV will suspend or revoke your privilege to drive if you are convicted of any of the following offenses: operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs, DUI; injuring another person as a result of operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol and drugs; operating a motor vehicle while suspended or revoked for a DUI; operating a motor vehicle that is not equipped with the ignition interlock device when it is required by the court or DMV; making a false statement to the DMV; failing to stop and identify yourself at a scene of a crash if someone has been injured or killed; voluntary or involuntary manslaughter resulting from driving a motor vehicle; involuntary manslaughter resulting from operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol; committing a motor vehicle-related drug offense; committing a felony involved use of a motor vehicle; taking a driver's license exam for another person or appearing for another person to review a license; eluding police. The court may suspend or revoke your driving privilege if you are convicted of these following offenses: reckless or aggressive driving, operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, driving while your license is revoked or suspended for non-DUI related conviction, refusing to take a blood breath test when charged with driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Refer to the DMV website under Reinstating Driving Privileges and Restrictions for Driving Privileges for information on other reasons for suspensions, revocations, requirements, and reinstatements of driving privilege and eligibility of restricting driver privileges. Other DMV requirements, suspensions, and revocation. Driver's Improvement Program. If you are a Virginia resident, DMV is responsible for maintaining a driver's records for all convictions received from the court. When convictions are added to your record, DMV assigns demerits points of traffic offenses, moving violations. DMV also monitors your driving records to see how many demerit points you receive within a 12-month to 24-month period. Convictions may be assigned 3 or 4 or 6-month demerit points. For more information, refer to the Moving Violations and Point Assessment publication available at the dmv.virginia.gov or the DMV Customer Service Centers. Under the age of 18, if you are convicted with a demerit point, traffic violation, or safety belt, child restraint violation committed when you're under 18, DMV will require that you complete a driver improvement clinic. If you do not complete the clinic within 90 days, DMV will suspend your driving privilege until you complete the clinic and pay a reinstatement fee. After your second conviction for a demerit point traffic violation or safety belt, child restraint violation committed when you are under the age of 18, DMV will suspend your driving privilege for 90 days. Your third conviction will result in a revocation of your driving privilege for 1 year or until you reach the age of 18, whichever is longer. 18 or 19, DMV will require you to complete a driver improvement clinic if you are convicted of a demerit point or safety belt child restraint violation committed while you were 18 or 19. At the age of 18 or older, DMV will require you to complete a driver improvement clinic if you accumulate 12 demerit points within 12 months or 18 points within 24 months. If you do not complete the clinic within 90 days, DMV will suspend your driving privilege. If you receive 18 demerits within 12 months or 24 months, DMV will suspend your driving privilege for 90 days and require that you complete a driver's improvement clinic. For more detailed information on the driver improvement program for juveniles and adults, you can go over to the dmv.virginia.gov or a different kind of crash course. Medical review program. DMV is responsible for making sure that drivers are able to safely operate motor vehicles. When DMV receives a report that a driver may have a physical or mental condition that affects his ability to drive safely, a medical review of the driver may be conducted. DMV is concerned about any condition that impairs the driver's level of consciousness, perception, vision, judgment, and motor skills. Depending on the situation, DMV may require you to submit a medical or vision report completed by your physician or to pass a 2-part knowledge exam or road skills test. Once the medical review is completed, DMV will decide whether to suspend your driving privilege, restrict your driving privilege, require you to submit periodical medical or vision reports, end the medical review with no other requirements. If DMV suspends your driving privileges as a result of a medical review action, you will not be required to present legal presence proof documents to reinstate your driving privilege unless you are required to do so from another suspension or revocation or your license expires. Refer to the DMV publication, Medical Fitness for Safe Driving. Insurance Monitoring Program. DMV is responsible for making sure that all owners of vehicles with valid registration to comply with Virginia laws on insurance requirements. When registering a motor vehicle, you must sign a statement on the registration application that you have liability insurance coverage on your motor vehicle or pay $500 uninsured motor vehicle fee. DMV will suspend your driving privilege if you do not submit the requested insurance policy information to verify that you have liability insurance coverage. There is a break in your insurance policy coverage, and you do not return your license plates to the DMV. Refer to the dmv.virginia.gov website for more information. Suspensions or failing to satisfy child support related requirements. The Division of Child Support Enforcement will direct DMV to suspend your driving privilege if you are late making child support payments by 90 days or $5,000, or fail to appear in court or comply with a subpoena summons or warrant related to paternity or child support hearings. So refer to the DMV website under reinstatement for information on eligibility for restricted driver privileges or requirements to reinstate your driving privilege. Alcohol and the law. If you are arrested for drinking and driving, the penalties are severe. If the police have probable cause to stop you and suspect that you have been drinking or using drugs, they will ask you to take a breath or blood test. Under the implied consent of laws, if you operate a motor vehicle in Virginia public roads, you agree to take the breath test upon request. If you are involved in a motor vehicle crash and a law enforcement officer has probable cause, you can be arrested for DUI within 3 hours of the crash without a warrant or at any location. Administrative license suspension. If you refuse a breath test or your BAC is 0.08% or higher while you are driving, law enforcement charges you with driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Your driving privilege will automatically be suspended for 7 days for a first offense, for 60 days or until you go to trial, whichever comes first, for the second offense, and until trial for the third DUI offense. If you are convicted of DUI, the court and DMV will impose a suspension and other penalties additionally to the administrative license suspension. Open alcohol containers in vehicles. Open alcohol containers in vehicles. You may be charged with drinking while operating a motor vehicle if you are stopped by law enforcement and have an open container of alcohol in the passenger area and the contents are partially removed and show signs that you have been drinking. The passenger area means the area that seats the driver and the passenger, any area within the driver's reach, including an unlocked glove compartment. Transporting children while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Conviction of DUI involving a juvenile passenger, 17 or younger, in the vehicle at the time of the offense carries an additional mandatory 5-day jail term plus all the other fines and jail sentences. You may be charged at least $500 and up to $1,000. A second DUI offense with a juvenile in the vehicle carries an additional 80-hour community service requirements and all the other fines and jail sentences. Vehicle impoundment. Your vehicle will be impounded immediately for 30 days if you are caught driving after your license has been suspended for any alcohol-related offense. The court can impound the vehicle for an additional 90 days if you are convicted. Also, your vehicle will be impounded by the law enforcement if you operate a motor vehicle without a license after you have previously been convicted of driving without a license. Restitution. Depending on the laws of the city or county in which you are driving, you may be responsible for paying the cost up to $1,000 for law enforcement, emergency medical services, firefighters, rescue personnel who responded to the crash or incident resulting from your DUI violation. Alcohol-related violations and penalties involving persons under the age of 21. Purchasing and consuming alcohol. If you're under the age of 21, you can't purchase, possess, consume alcohol. If you're convicted of driving after illegally consuming alcohol and have a BAC of at least 0.2% and less than 0.8%, the court penalty can include a suspension of your driving privilege for up to 1 year, minimum mandatory fine of $500, or a requirement that you complete at least 50 hours of community service. If you are convicted of driving after illegally consuming alcohol or your BAC was 0.08% or higher, you may face the same penalties as an adult. Providing alcoholic beverages. If you provide or sell alcoholic beverages to a person under the age of 21 or someone who is intoxicated ordered by the court to refrain drinking from alcohol, you are subject to a fine up to $2,500, manual suspension of your driver's license for up to 1 year, and 12 months in jail. Misrepresentation of age. If you're under 21 and you use or attempt to use a fake ID, establish a fake age, in an attempt to drink or purchase alcohol, you can be fined by $500, required to perform at least 50 hours of community service, face up to 12 months in jail, and face a mandatory suspension of your driver's license for at least 6 months, but not more than a year.